Welcome to an episode of Game Ubako Pro Wrestling Monthly. I am DJ Tatsujin, and I'm here. This is sported by kind of an April Fool's type thing, doing some speed runs in some kind of the cheesy old wrestling games. And it all began by posting for a NES Wednesday. We have our cart here, a good copy of WWF King of the Ring, and we looked it up, and the speedrun's pretty mindless, so we thought we'd give it a shot. And here you can see me doing the King of the Ring tournament, playing as a bit of a custom character in the game. It's referred to as you, but you get to customize his name and his stats. So I am DJT from Parts Unknown, and you can see they got the question mark over his face, but that is you in the game, all 6 feet 250 pounds of you. And as you saw, you posting your stats, if you put your strength all the way up, that definitely gives you the advantage. This is I played this on the normal difficulty. Generally, the speedrun, as the rules are set on speedrun.com, is done on the easy difficulty. Right now, 8-Bit Steve has the record on that at 2 minutes and 18 seconds, which is really fast. I gave this a shot on normal, which you'll see here, and I did try it on easy, and my record, coincidentally enough, was 3 minutes and 16 seconds, so we ended with a 3:16 King of the Ring. And as you can see here, we've just about depleted Lex Luger of all of his health. And he's going to go down for the 1, 2, 3 and move us on. The King of the Ring in the WWF WWE is a tournament that's run. So it has a field of 8 wrestlers, but we'll face 3 of them in tournament format. So our second one is Shawn Michaels with the goofy portrait. Looks like he looks like some sort of sloth or something in his portrait. So it made that post as a good faces post on Twitter. But moving on, just the same strats. This is just mashing the B button. B button does the kick, and when you grapple, it does the body slam move. And the thing about this game is that I found out is the computer is no joke when it comes to mashing buttons. On the easy difficulty, you can pretty much have your way. Normal, you do kind of have to work for it, but man, putting it on the hard difficulty, I don't think I've ever really fought much of a computer that can button mash that hard. So unless there's something that I don't understand, I just cannot outmatch the computer on the hard difficulty. And just getting into it and mashing constantly really tires out your arm and forearm. So it's the more you have to do it in the match, the worse off you become, and the computer just gets grapples free at that point. So that'd be interesting to find out, to do a King of the Ring tournament on the hard difficulty. And the thing that I found out, for whatever reason, I don't know if the strength the attribute also impacts how much less you have to mash or anything. But even on the normal difficulty, I found when I got Yokozuna in the final matchup, even on normal difficulty, Yokozuna is very hard to mash against. So we've depleted Shawn Michaels of his health here, and that's going to move us on to the finals of the King of the Ring tournament, about 3 minutes in here. And you'll also note, it seems like you might get a bit of an extra stat boost in between the matches too. I don't know if I just accidentally hit a button and changed the stats, but just trying to mash through the menus and get through the menuing as fast as possible. So this is the King of the Ring finals, matched up against Bam Bam Bigelow, who is not in the Game Boy version. There's a Game Boy version of this game. This was released by LJN in 1993. I believe it was developed by Gray Matter, which I saw online. I believe this was the final game that they ever developed as Gray Matter. But there is a Game Boy version which is almost identical to a T, except it is missing Bam Bam Bigelow and Undertaker as characters. So it does take a bit of a roster drop, but overall it's pretty much the same game. And I did tinker with it, and it seems that a lot of the moves don't do a lot of damage. You can see that the health is going down, kind of a steady pace in here. Still a little bit of slow pace to it, but the Game Boy version I found was even slower. So this is definitely by far, I guess, the premium version that you can play. So we're at 4 minutes now going in here, and as you can see, we're just mashing B. We get the stomps. It's guaranteed damage. It's actually a little bit faster to guarantee that you get the grapple, work your way in, and get the body slam for extra damage. You can see how much more damage it does there, but we're playing it safe on normal here. And the thing you get on easy too, on easy difficulty, you could probably pin them by now. I mean, when they're at like 15-20% health, you can get away with pinning them on an easy. But here we go, there's the big elbow drop for the finish. We're gonna get the 1, the 2, and the 3. And there's our victory. And the time hits once we get to the victory screen here. Congratulations to the new King of the Ring. There we go, a normal difficulty playthrough, 4 minutes and 48 seconds. So not bad, sub 5. It's a speed run you can do in less than 5 minutes, and the easy difficulty is even faster. And we're gonna get the credits to roll here. Before we run into our next game, there's a total of 5 games in this lineup here, and that was the first. Next one's gonna be the Super Nintendo version of WWF Wrestlemania, the arcade game. So here we're going to make sure, I think the volume goes a little bit heavier on this game, so we're going to prepare for it here. And here we go. This is about halfway through my world record run for the World Heavyweight Championship difficulty, starting in on the 5th match. That puts us in the 3 versus 1 handicap matches. And this is on the Super Nintendo format. Large differences between the Super Nintendo format and even its other home versions. On top of being, you know, dramatically watered down from the arcade version that released to arcades by Midway. This one was put out by Acclaim, and the Super Nintendo cart, it's most notorious for completely missing 2 of the characters. Again, Bam Bam Bigelow got the nicks in this version, as well as Yokozuna, which is my favorite in the arcade version, so that's definitely sad to see. But as you can see here, this run, we play as Lex Luger, and I found a strategy that kind of capitalizes on the fast damage. You don't want to knock the opponents down, because if the opponent is down on the mat, that ruins your ability to keep doing damage. So we're gonna do this is on the very easy difficulty. When you speedrun the Super Nintendo version, because it's such bad performance game, you can see how slow it runs when there's more than 2 characters on the screen. And that's kind of the point of doing the damage per second setup with Lex Luger, is eliminating someone as fast as you can, getting them off the screen. That way the game moves much faster. And on top of that, the music is off to improve performance, and as you might be able to notice, the health is set at 90%. That way I don't get any perfects, because if you get a perfect, you get the little jingle at the end, the little graphic that says perfect, that sparkles and is all pretty, but it drains extra time. So playing on very easy, the computer will never reverse grapples, so that's what lets us get away with this kind of false infinite combo that we're doing with Lex Luger here. It's just doing the head hold, holding forward with the kicks, and then switching to a power punch. And what this does is different per character. Doink, we can get away with 3 or 4 knees and then going into the headbutts. But when it switches over to Razor Ramon, instead of doing the headbutts, you'll get the overhead axe handle. Razor Ramon is the one that you want to run into the most, because you can do 4 knees and then into that overhead axe handle. It's very quick, very high damaging. And then people like Shawn Michaels, if you put Shawn Michaels too high with the knees, he'll escape from the grapple. And you won't be able to loop it, and if he gets away, he's going to waste a lot of your time because he's so fast and he'll keep running around. And we've reached the WrestleMania challenge here. This is 1 versus 8, but because we're playing on the Super Nintendo, we can't have more than 3 characters on the screen at the same time. So what's going to happen is it's going to put us in a 2 versus 1 handicap, and as we defeat a wrestler, the next one will walk in here. So there we go, we got Lex Luger down, and this is going to let the game run a lot faster. So this is our time. We need to get in there and do as much damage as we possibly can before the next wrestler gets in. And that's what reducing the lag is what really helped me get this time down. Before I did this, the world record for this category was in the 10-minute range, and you'll see this is going to end coming up here pretty soon. It's going to be at just over 8 minutes. It was something like, I don't remember offhand, we'll see when it finishes here. But I do lose a little bit of time on a few of the mistakes in this, so it could have been less time, But overall, like I said, it is at the top of the leaderboard for Speedrun.com for the time being, and it stayed there for a couple months. So that's one I've been pretty proud of, being able to reduce the time for this game so dramatically. And here we go. Sean's being the punk. He's the one wasting up our time here. But he saw those nice gold splits before. We're going to lose a little bit of time compared to the splits, but overall, it's going to end right here at 8 minutes 34 seconds. And there, congratulations, Lex Luger, you are the new WWF World Champion. So he gets to roll around on the Lex Express bus to tour the nation. So here we go. We're going to roll into game number 3. Which is WCW versus WCW NWO Thunder, and this is going to go by very fast here. This is showing off the test of strength maneuver. You can do this with any character by holding up and pressing the circle button, and then you mash to drain their health. And if you're missing health, this actually fills your health too. So 2 tests of strengths and that hip toss, go for the pin, right in there, we're done. And there is a full video. You can see full runs of the US title run on Twitch and YouTube. It is on my Twitch channel if you want to see more about this, but there we go. 22 seconds, Alex Wright lays out the giant flat. Here we go, on to the next game. WWF Raw for the Super Nintendo, the 1994 game by LJN, followed up Royal Rumble. But this game does still have the Royal Rumble mode in it, and you're going to see we're going to work our way to 1-2-3 Kid. Has a maximum stat in the speed category, so he's going to move very fast. And you also want somebody with the hip toss move, which you're going to see right here. But this is how it's going to roll right here. We're going to grab people as soon as they walk in, outmash them to whip them into the ropes, and get them. We kind of manipulate them a little bit by going back to the ropes and moving forward. But this is going to be it back and forth. We're going to get rid of all 11 other wrestlers this way. We're already at about 30 seconds here, but used to play this one with friends all the time. It's a really good multiplayer game. Well, it hasn't aged quite so well as a single player experience, but because it just involves a lot of mashing. But it's so much fun with friends, especially with Raw, which on the Super Nintendo you can play with 4 players. And you can see Owen Hart using there he's attempting his mega move, which does waste a little bit of my time, but getting in there. Comes the Undertaker. 2 opponents left, and they're just going down one by one. The record on speedrun.com right now is 53 seconds, so I just had the timer at the bottom running it, but you do actually take the in-game timer, so you'll see the results screen here. It does end at 58 seconds, so my official time is 58 seconds, and the record times are pretty close there. And I'm going to make the music in this game is so loud, but here's our 5th game, WCW main event for the Game Boy. This is one I'd actually never played this game until I started doing this. We gave it a speedrun. Speedrun.com does have a 1-match category, playing on the easy difficulty, and this is another game just like King of the Ring. Just gonna hold forward and mash the A button. We get the body slam and then that leg drop, and then we're able to pin right there. Boom. 17-second match pinfall against stunning Steve Austin with Rick Rude. And we'll see. I think I'm going to upload this and submit it. The top of the leaderboard on speedrun.com as it stands right now is 34 seconds. So we're just going to do this one more time here, single match, but I'm going to put it on the world title difficulty. This is going to go on the hardest difficulty. This isn't quite like King of the Ring, where it's very difficult to outmatch the computer. But here we go. Same matchup, Rick Rude versus stunning Steve Austin. Get the body slam here, and there's those little icons. This does have signature moves, so by pressing the select button, as long as you have that little diamond icon, so there's Steve's going to use his right there. You can do signature moves in this game, which are missing from King of the Ring. But he's going to put up a little bit more of a fight because this is on the hardest difficulty, but overall you can use a lot of the same strategies. Just make sure we get that body slam and leg drop. On the hardest difficulty, they're more apt to dodge the leg drop, so you don't get to do damage quite as fast. And it looks a little weird on the Game Boy. I'm guessing that's supposed to be the Rude Awakening neckbreaker, but we'll see. There's the pinfall. And right there on the hardest difficulty, you got a 41-second pin. And then just to kind of flesh it all out here, there is a kind of a tournament mode in this game as well, and this will show the final 2 opponents in the tournament mode. you face off against everybody else on the roster. You're facing Big Van Vader. This is on the easiest difficulty, which there is no category for the elimination mode, but I would imagine if it was run, it would be on the easy difficulty like a lot of the other wrestling games are for the consoles. But here we go, it's just the same strategy, and this is one too, on the easiest difficulty. You can get away with pinning opponents a little bit earlier than depleting all of their health. So there goes Vader. We won the match. Now we get our final matchup against Sting here. Of course, the 90s Sting. This game was released in 1993, so that's the roster it's using. Has other characters like the Steiner brothers. It has Johnny B. Bad. Ron Simmons is another character that's in it. Here we go, just using the same strategy. If you get lucky, see the 17-second match I got a little bit lucky because the computer cooperated, just kind of ran straight forward into the body slams and the leg drops. There are, if the computer doesn't want to cooperate, it'll roll up and down and waste more of your time, so it is a little bit of an RNG aspect, but there we go. Won the title as Rick Rude in the exhibition, the elimination format against every opponent. 5 minutes, 21 seconds. So there we go. 5 speedruns and 5 different wrestling games. And that's going to do it for this installment of Gamubaka Pro Wrestling. Episodes will continue with more 1cc play on the arcade version of WWF Wrestlemania, where we'll see if we can beat the time we established on our previous all-clear category attempt. I hope you had a great April Fool's Day and WrestleMania week, and I thank you for tuning into today's video. If you haven't already, please follow me on Twitch and Twitter at DJ Tatsujin, and you can read more of my archived content at www.gamubaka.com. That's GEMUBAKA.com. Until next time.